Hello friends, it's your boy SVH coming to you from the great outdoors up here on the Backbone Trail in the Santa Monica Mountains. Man, this is the life. I'm just loving it out here. Views for days. So, I wanted to take this time on the trail to share a little trail thought that came to me today, and I'm going to preface it with a little story that my mom told me yesterday. She said a friend of hers was talking with a priest, and somewhere in the conversation, and I'm paraphrasing here, I might get this a little bit wrong, but the priest told this young man that essentially you can't find God in nature, you have to find God in the church, or something to that nature. And I'm here to tell you right now that is complete and utter bullshit. All right, I usually don't throw the cursing in these videos, but I'm gonna tell you that's bullshit. So let me just explain a little bit here. All right, and this goes into my trail epiphany, or epiphany, whatever you want to say. Epiphany, whatever. God created the heavens and the earth, right? That's what's spoken in the Bible, and that is the reality. And so God didn't create the heavens and the earth so that we don't see his beauty in it, right? He didn't create the earth so that a bunch of people just land on it, plop on it, claim dominion over certain areas, go out and blow each other up to basically secure our dominance over others, and to make people subversive and make them submit to the will of the higher powers or the elites or whatever it may be. No, we weren't created for that. We weren't created to get in a car and get in a fight or an accident on the road during road rage because one person thinks that their space is more valuable than another. No, that's not what we were created for. We were created in God's image, right? So therefore, the creation is created in God's image. God is not separate from any of this, right? God's in this plant. God's in the sky. God's in the sun. God's in the ocean. God's in our breath. He's most prevalent in us. And this is really what most people miss. And I think really is the sad reality for a lot of people of different faiths and different religions that get kind of wrapped up in their religion alone, and they kind of forget about the experience of God within themselves. Now, I'm going to say some things here that might aggravate a few people, might seem heretical, might challenge your own beliefs, but you are not separate from God. Now, I'm not saying that you should run around and call yourself God. That's not what I'm saying. But you are not separate from God. And Christ taught this message in all of his teachings. His teaching was, I and the Father are one, right? Not two. Not God the Father, some entity in a cloud, or a spirit that dwells somewhere afar and that you have to call out to all the time. No, I and the Father are one. Christ realized that he could embody the essence of the God within. He connected with the Father by bringing the light, the presence, the divinity, the healing power, the consciousness of God and that divinity, that divine nature, into himself, and recognized it within him to where he could channel that, be that, live that, and give that. Okay, so that's the reality. So to say that you can't experience God in nature is just asinine, because God is nature, and our true nature is God. And so people need to realize that and understand that. So I think about this. I have such a deep love for nature. Well, why is that? Well, I could say, yeah, it's because I got out here one day and I saw how beautiful it was, and it's a great way to exercise, and it's a nice way to, clear my mind. And I can say all those things, but what really truly happened is I came out here and I found God in nature. I experienced God in every little creature, every little living thing, every thing that crossed my path in a certain manner, or every little bunny rabbit that stopped and turned and looked at me, or every little bird that walked along me on the trail or flew over my head. You know, I saw the face of God. I saw the connection of God to all things, and how that power, that divine nature, that divine spirit, God, animates all things and lives in all things, connects all things. What we do is we create these separations that disconnect us, not even just from each other and from people, but from nature, you know, from animals, from, you know, plants, from the air that we breathe, everything else. We create these separations, and that therefore takes us away from the nature of God within, so we don't experience God within. We experience God without. We pray to someone who is afar and ask that to come into us when it's already in us. You know, God is closer to us than our jugular vein, closer to us than the fish are to the sea. I mean, these are scriptures that have been taught, but they've been very highly misinterpreted over the years. And so, you know, I think about it. I'm out here because I have a desire to be out here. What put that desire in me? God, right? God put that desire within me. God within me brought that desire out. And so I'm out here. And how did I get here? What drags me out here every day? Well, you know, that desire opens up something in me to where God, the divine, animates this body, gets my tired ass out of bed and puts me in a car and shows me how to drive to where I have to go, and then gives me the wherewithal and the tools and the ability and the gear and the equipment to, you know, put an address in a map, find a place to go, get out here, drive myself there, and put one foot in front of the other on these trails, and to really just open myself to the beauty of it, and to experience it, and experience Him, experience God in its fullness, in God's fullness, in nature, you know. And man, I feel the most connected to God in nature. So I feel sorry for that minister who has that belief, and I feel sorry for his congregation if that's what he's preaching, you know, that, you know, you have to walk into four walls of a church in order to find God. That is so false. And I hope you haven't fallen for that theology or that ideology in your life. And if you have, you know, I welcome you to explore your inner self, explore your heart, explore your own nature. Maybe get out and in nature and explore your own nature there. And you'll realize